Have you ever been listening to a song and a sound just washes over you? You know, that lush, sweeping modulation almost?
Yeah.
Almost vocal in its character, just pulls you right into the music.
Mm.
It's that kind of effect that makes a simple guitar riff or maybe a synth pad feel, well, undeniably alive, like a warm wave just transforming everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a sound that really helped define an era, didn't it? But it still sounds completely relevant today. We're talking about the Electro Harmonix Smallstone. It's an analog phaser pedal that became a real cornerstone for musicians, guitarists, bassists, keyboard players.
Oh, absolutely. Across pretty much every genre you can think of.
Right. From those deep, infectious funk grooves back in the 70s,
Hmm.
all the way to the most intricate experimental soundscapes people are making right now. Its voice is just, it's on countless tracks you definitely know.
What's truly fascinating here is that we're not just, analyzing a piece of gear like a box with knobs. We're really dissecting a unique sonic fingerprint, an effect that carved out its own niche and helped define entire musical moments.
Exactly.
So our deep dive today will explore its groundbreaking design, trace its journey through all the different versions, and really try to uncover precisely why it remains one of the most cherished modulation effects out there.
Right. For our deep dive today, the big question isn't just what this pedal is, but how this, well, this little box achieves such an unmistakable sound. A sound that still inspires musicians decades later. What was its secret weapon? You know, that one pivotal design choice that really set it apart.
Okay, let's unpack this. So let's cast our minds back. 1974.
Right.
Picture the music scene then. It was vibrant, super experimental, always pushing boundaries, wasn't it?
Totally. A really fertile time for sound innovation.
And right into this scene arrives the small stone, conceived by the visionary designer David Cockrell.
Ah, Cockrell, yeah. And this is the same creative mind, by the way, behind other legendary Electro-Harmonix pedals. We're talking the Electric Mistress Flanger, the Deluxe Memory Man Delay.
Yeah, he definitely had a knack for creating these iconic sounds, didn't he?
Oh.
A real legend in pedal design. And, while other phasers certainly existed before the small stone,
Sure, like at the Phase 90?
exactly, the MXR Phase 90 or maybe the old Maestro phasers, they were around. But Cockrell's approach, it was fundamentally different. The small stone stood out right from day one because it used a unique OTA design that's operational transconductance amplifier.
Okay, yeah.
And this was a pretty significant departure from the more common FETs field effect transistors that its competitors were using at the time.
But this wasn't just like a technical detail for engineers, was it? It was a genuine stroke of genius. It redefined what a phaser could sound like.
Absolutely.
That OTA design was the secret sauce, really. It delivered this distinctly warmer, deeper, and noticeably smoother sweep. It just cut through the competition with this liquid richness nobody else had quite mastered.
Yeah, that smoothness is key.
It wasn't just another phaser sound, it was the sound musicians started craving.
Yeah.
That organic, almost vocal quality. It truly had a character all its own. Okay, so we've talked about its unique DNA, this OTA thing, but what exactly is happening inside that little box to create such an unmistakable, almost liquid sound? How does it work?
Well, at its core, the small stone uses a pretty clever four-stage phaser design.
4 stages. Okay.
Yeah, so for anyone familiar with effects, you can think of it like four interconnected phase-shifting circuits all working together in tandem.
Right.
And this sophisticated setup creates what's called a moving notch filter. Essentially, it's a specific dip in frequencies that continuously glides sweeps across your sound.
Ah, okay, I see. So that's the swirl.
That's the swirl. It's that dynamic interaction that conjures up that characteristic swirling, almost liquid motion we all recognize. And to get a bit more specific, the consistent use of those CA3 and ivcore OTAs is absolutely crucial here.
Plus specific chips?
Those specific chips, they're known for having low noise and high linearity, which directly contributes to that smoother, rounder character we mentioned, and the impressive depth of the phase.
So it's this combo of the 4 stages and those specific chips that gives it its inherent warmth. But beyond that core design, there's one really pivotal control that totally transforms the sound, and that's the color switch. This isn't just a subtle tweak, is it? It feels like a real game changer for how you use the pedal. Can you walk us through what it actually does?
Absolutely. It's super simple, but super effective. So in its down position, the color switch gives you a more subtle phase.
Okay.
It's perfect for adding just a touch of ethereal movement to clean tones, like a light breeze through your sound, adds texture without being overwhelming.
Nice.
But then you flip it to the up position, and that engages and boosts the feedback resonance.
Nice feedback. Okay.
Yeah, so a portion of the phase signal gets fed back into the circuit. This intensifies the effect, making that notch in the frequency spectrum much more pronounced, much deeper. It's kind of like turning up the gain on the phase effect itself. It creates a much more vocal, almost like a talking or moaning sound, really intense psychedelic territory.
Wow. It's almost like the instrument itself starts to, I don't know, hum a little tune, like it's finding its own voice just by flicking that switch.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
That's incredible versatility from just one simple control.
Precisely. That simple switch offered musicians this unprecedented sonic control. You could dial in anything from a really subtle shimmer to a full-on swirling psychedelic trip. And then you couple that with the rate knob.
Right, the speed.
Yeah, which lets you adjust the speed from those slow, dreamy undulations, really lazy sweeps, up to a fast, almost warbling wobble. Put it all together, and you've just got a vast range of tonal possibilities right there.
And when you combine all that, the tonal characteristics are just so distinct, aren't they?
Yeah.
Rich, deep phasing, and it seems to have more bottom-end presence than a lot of competitors.
That's true, yeah. It doesn't thin out the sound as much.
And it's equally at home doing that subtle movement thing or the full-blown psychedelic resonance, which explains why it works beautifully not just with electric guitar, but also bass, Rhodes piano, clavinet, even synths. It's a genuine all-rounder. It really transcends those typical instrument boundaries.
Definitely. Very versatile box.
But the story of the Small Stone, it doesn't just end with that initial triumph in '74, does it? Like any true classic, it evolved, it adapted,
Oh, yeah.
and it kept finding new life and new sounds through various different versions over the decades. What did that evolution look like?
Yeah, we can trace its evolution pretty clearly, and honestly, each version has its own distinct charm and following. So the original Small Stone, that was produced from 1974 up to around 1979, that's the one in the iconic EHX big box, you know, the wedge-shaped enclosure.
Classic look. Yeah.
That's the one. It used those original CA394 OTAs we talked about, discrete components, known for its truly warm, deep phasing. It's often considered the holy grail by collectors.
Okay, so that original big box version, that's the benchmark. That's the classic Small Stone tone people think of.
Generally, yes.
Yes.
That's the starting point for that iconic sound. But then came the Small Stone V2 and V3. These are from the late 70s into the 80s. These saw some circuit refinements, sometimes different component sourcing depending on what was available.
Right, practical changes.
Exactly. And interestingly, some versions during this period became known for being a bit darker or noisier than the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which for some artists, that actually added to its appeal, give it a bit more of a gritty edge.
Huh.
And this is also when we saw the transition to smaller, more pedal board-friendly enclosures. Made it much easier for musicians to actually take it out and use it live.
That's fascinating. So, okay, for a musician back then, how did that slightly darker tone change how they might use it compared to the original, especially with the move to smaller boxes? Did it open up new creative avenues?
Oh, it absolutely did. I mean, while some purists definitely preferred the pristine warmth of the V1,
Sure.
others really embraced the character of the V2 and V3. That slightly darker, maybe sometimes more aggressive tone meant it could cut through a really dense mix differently.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, with the compact size, it just became a go-to for live players who needed that authentic phase sound, but also, needed to actually fit it on a crowded pedal board. Practicality matters.
Makes sense.
Then, fast forward to the Russian Small Stone. This spanned the 1990s and into the 2000s.
Ah, yes, the Softtech era.
Exactly. Manufactured in Russia by Softtech
Ah.
under the EHX branding, usually housed in those larger black or sometimes green enclosures, big chunky things.
Right.
And this version developed a really significant cult following, especially among experimental and shoegaze musicians.
Okay. Why them specifically?
Specifically for its grittier, darker tone. It just really stood out. It had this raw, almost untamed quality compared to the earlier American ones.
The Russian versions have such a distinct reputation, don't they? Why do you think that grittier, darker tone resonated so strongly with the shoegaze and experimental scenes in the 90s?
Well, think about that era, right? It was all about texture, atmosphere, sometimes beautiful noise, sonic landscape.
Totally. Walls of sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Russian Small Stone's unique grit, maybe even its slight inconsistency sometimes, it perfectly complemented that whole aesthetic.
Right.
It wasn't really about pristine, clean replication for those guys. It was about adding a layer of sonic character, a sort of controlled chaos maybe that fit right into those expansive sounds. It just gave an edge that was different.
A different flavor of cool.
Precisely. And then finally, that brings us to the Nano Smallstone, which runs from the 2000s right up to the present day.
The little one.
The little one. The
Yeah.
modern compact version, specifically designed to be super pedal board friendly while still aiming to deliver that classic analog OTA phasing sound.
And does it? Does it keep the core elements?
Yeah. Crucially, it retains the essential rate knob and, most importantly, that all-important color switch. So that core sound, that versatility, it's accessible to a whole new generation in a much smaller package.
It's actually incredible how many forms one pedal can take over, 50 years? And still retain its core identity.
It really is.
And, to really bring the sound to life for you listening, let's talk about some of the famous artists who made the Smallstone such an indelible part of their signature sound. Who are some of the key players we should think of?
Oh, the list really highlights its broad appeal, like we said, across genres. Take Jean-Michel Jarre, for example.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He made the Smallstone absolutely central to his groundbreaking, synth-driven soundscapes. Think albums like Oxygen or Equinox. His music just wouldn't be the same without that swirling, almost breathing phase. He often used it on his ARP synthesizer, apparently.
So for Jarre, it wasn't just like an add-on effect. It was integral to his instrumental voice, wasn't it? Almost like an extra dimension for his synths. That's a huge endorsement.
Absolutely fundamental. And then there's Jean-Jacques Perret, another early electronic music pioneer. He also incorporated Smallstone, phasing into his really innovative compositions, showing its utility beyond just guitars early on.
Right.
Moving into rock, Ed O'Brien from Radiohead.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
He's known for integrating its lush modulation textures into his guitar work, adding depth and atmosphere to some of their more expansive tracks. You can definitely hear it.
And Radiohead's sound is so much about texture and space, isn't it? So it makes perfect sense he'd gravitate towards that vocal atmospheric quality.
Indeed. Fits right in. And Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes. Big Pumpkins fan here.
He utilized it for layering those really thick phased textures in his distinctive, often massive guitar sound. He used it to add this rich, dense movement, contributing to the band's signature wall of sound.
Oh, absolutely. You can hear it swirling under those huge riffs.
Totally. And it wasn't just guitarists and synth players either. We can't forget its huge popularity with electric piano players in the 70s.
Rosenclaves
And amp players, absolutely, both live and in the studio. They loved the Smallstone for adding that rich, vibrant movement to their keys, making them shimmer and sing, really brought them to life.
Wow. That diverse roster of artists. You've got French electronic pioneers, alternative rock icons, funk keyboardists. It just drives home the Smallstone's incredible versatility, doesn't it? It truly found a home in funk, prog rock, alternative electronic music. It just proves that a unique sound can transcend genre when it's just that good.
And that really leads us directly to its lasting legacy, why it still matters. The Smallstone is, I think it's fair to say, widely considered one of the warmest sounding phasers ever made.
Yeah.
That unique OTA design we talked about way back at the beginning, it really delivered on its promise. It provided this nuanced, organic sweep that very few others could replicate.
And it's definitely worth revisiting that color switch again. That really was a stroke of genius, wasn't it?
It really was.
It made the Smallstone so much more versatile than many of its competitors, like, say, the MXR Phase 90, which often gave you a more singular flavor of phase.
Right. Kind of a one-trick pony sometimes. Lovely trick. But...
Yeah. The Smallstone gave musicians this choice, right? Between a subtle, elegant swirl and that truly extreme vocal-like resonance. All in one box. That's a huge creative advantage.
Huge. And let's not forget the Russian Smallstone's cult status in the 90s indie and shoegaze scenes.
Right. That gritty sound found its people.
Exactly. And this really demonstrates how different iterations of the pedal, even with slight tonal variations, could find entirely new audiences in new artistic homes. It proves that even subtle shifts in character can spark new creative movements and help a pedal maintain relevance across decades.
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. The Nano Smallstone is still in production today.
Still going strong.
That makes it one of Electro Harmonix's longest-running and most enduring pedals. It's not just some vintage relic, it's a current-day workhorse people are buying right now. That just speaks volumes about its timeless design.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, its unique character and that inherent versatility mean it continues to influence modern music. It remains a go-to for artists seeking that distinctive analog phase sound. It's really a testament to timeless design, that something introduced almost 50 years ago can still be as relevant and desired today. It wasn't about chasing trends back then. It was about defining a fundamental, beautiful sound.
So what does this all mean? Our deep dive today, we've journeyed through the history of the Electro Harmonix small stone, from its innovative OTA design and that transformative color switch,
Hmm.
to its various incarnations over the years and its indelible mark on countless iconic recordings. It truly carved out this unique space in music history, didn't it? Defining sounds from subtle shimmering textures to those deep, resonant, almost vocal-like phase sweeps. It's just a perfect example of intelligent engineering meeting artistic intuition.
Well said. And this raises an important question for you, the listener, to maybe consider. How can a single, really well-engineered effect pedal, just through its specific technical choices and its user-friendly features, how can it not only become iconic, but also continue to shape entire genres and inspire new generations of musicians for, well, half a century?
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It really is. So maybe the next time you're listening to your favorite tracks, new or old, perhaps you'll hear that distinct vocal or sweeping sound, a sound that still feels so fresh and vital. And maybe you can trace its lineage right back to this small, unassuming box that truly changed the sound of music.